We did it, y'all. It's finally here. The 50 subscriber Q&A video. Now, granted, we're closer to 60 subscribers now because you guys are that awesome. We building up the community real fast. But this is long overdue, so I thought we might as well get into it. So without further ado, this is a celebration video. Me answering your guys' questions. I got questions from fellow YouTubers that do Goosebumps videos, fellow friends, people I know on Discord, and a few commenters on my videos. So, let's get into it. Now there is going to be 13 questions talked about in this video. There's also going to be a secret 14th question that I kind of put as an honorable thing because I forgot the person who asked it, but that one I might give a brief answer to because I can turn it into a video idea. But yeah, so thank you guys, 50 subscribers. We are here. Unfortunately, I am sick at the moment. I ended up getting a fever on my birthday because my mom went out for a business trip and she came back and was sick, so I got caught with it. Still a good birthday though, so it's not that big of a deal. But if you hear me sniffling in the video, that's going to be why, so just bear with me here. And we also got a little bit of a cure right now. Since it was my birthday, my uncle sent me thumbs up. This is India's version of Coca-Cola. I like Pepsi better, but this is India's version of Coca-Cola. It's better than Coca-Cola in my opinion. I'm not sponsored, but feel free, please sponsor me, bro. I drink this, bro, for real. So I'll be sipping on this during the video too. It's spicy too, but that helps because I'm sick. So yeah, I got 13 questions. You guys asked me a bunch of questions. I got them from fellow Goosebumps YouTubers. I got them from fellow reviewers. I got them from friends on my Discord and also people who comment on my videos. So they're amalgamated and I'm going to be answering them one by one. Again, thank you for 50 subscribers. Thank you guys for all the support. I think I'm close to 60 videos on the channel now, and soon it'll be 1 year anniversary. So I'm very proud and I hope to keep growing, and I love the community. So thank you guys for everything. I really appreciate it and hope to see more in the future. I don't plan on stopping anytime soon, so don't worry, you guys. So let's get into it. So some people ask multiple questions, some people ask single ones. So I'm going to be going through the people with multiple questions first. So the first one up is from Hunter Coleman. He asked me, I believe, 4 questions. Hunter Coleman is a guy that has been in the Goosebumps community for a long time. He comments on a lot of people's videos, comments on my videos. He also has his own channel. So go look up Hunter Coleman, C-O-L-E-M-A-N. He has some new reviews that he's been dropping for Goosebumps. So go feel free to check him out. So let's get into his question. So the first question from Hunter Coleman is, what got you into horror? So the first thing that got me into horrors was Brazzers.com. No, I'm kidding. Horror as in the genre. First thing that got me into horror was actually scary stories to tell in the dark. So even though Goosebumps, the TV show, is some of my earliest memories involving kids' horror, the very first thing that got me into horror was scary stories to tell in the dark. So I found the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark books in my public library at school. So when I got them, it was during Halloween, and I never picked up horror or kind of like watched or read that stuff because I actually genuinely got scared. But in elementary, I decided to grab the book and I took it home with me. And it's funny because it was during winter. So at this time, my mom would leave me alone a couple hours in the day because she had work. So I would be by myself in the house. And obviously when you're a little kid in the house by yourself, you're a scaredy cat. So it was dark and I decided not to turn on all the lights in the house because I guess I wanted to be adventurous. I just kept the kitchen light on. And I think like a light in one of the rooms. I didn't even keep the living room light on. So just, I have enough illumination to read, but it's not like all my lights are, like right now, the way it's illuminated, that's not what it was in my house. So I read the first Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark book, and I was absolutely terrified, y'all. When I tell y'all that I was shitting bricks, I was dead-ass shitting bricks, y'all. The artwork in the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark book by Alvin Schwartz, and I forgot the author, the artist's name. They're terrifying. The illustrations alone are some of the most horrifying things you'll see. Even as an adult, they freak you out. They are universally scary. And the stories themselves did not help the matter. They're very dark stories. So yeah, that is my earliest memory of getting into horror. So yeah, shout out to Alvin Schwartz, R.I.P. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark was the first experience I had as a kid. Second question is, who is your favorite author? Also by Hunter. To be fair, I don't really have a favorite author. I really love R.L. Stine and I love Stephen King. I got into Stephen King more recently. But to be honest, my favorite, I don't know, not favorite author, but the one that I kind of hold to the highest regard is still Alvin Schwartz. Alvin Schwartz is still, I guess you could say, kind of like my favorite author. He's the guy who wrote Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. He wrote In a Dark, Dark Room. And he's written other stuff as well. He's always been kind of the main kind of author that I hold to the highest regard. And I guess you could say he's my favorite author as of right now because his stories are universally scary. Like, as a kid, when you had Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, the entire trilogy, it was one of the scariest books you could basically get your hands on. And even as an adult, it is still one of the scariest books you can get your hands on. And, you know, as it got adapted as, into a movie, with the practical effects and all those memories relived by Guillermo del Toro, bringing it back, yeah, this is a universally scary book. His stuff that he writes is basically like urban legends, and they're so effective that, again, they're universal. I don't care what age you are. I don't care what time period it is. No matter what, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark and his other urban legend stories are always going to get to you. And I've been reading some stuff that has tried to mimic him and tried to pay homage to him, and it never seems to hit the same. I've seen some ones that are good, but I've never actually read any that managed to essentially hit the same level that his were. And Stephen King and R.L. Stine, they're great, but I've read knockoffs that are, I guess, to the same level. Alvin Schwartz is one of the few ones that for some reason, even after I read some new imitation of him, it's still not the same. So yeah, that's my favorite author, I guess. Next question was, what's your favorite color? This is a pretty simple one. Favorite color is red. I'm rocking it right now. I got on red shorts. I don't think you guys can see. I got on red shorts. I got on a little bit of red here. Red is my favorite color. It's always been my favorite color. So yeah, doesn't correlate to blood or anything. Maybe it does, but yeah, favorite color is red. Shout out to the Red Ranger, right? Red Power Ranger. Although it's funny because even though my favorite color is red, the Red Rangers have only been my favorite with the Battleizers, but the 6th Rangers, the gold and silver ones, or the white ones, are always my favorite. So yeah, there you go. Fourth question, this is the final one from Hunter Coleman. It says, what do you think of the Goosebumps community as a whole? So I have not been exposed to the Goosebumps community for a long time in my life. When I was a kid, I didn't obviously have access to YouTube, but I used to watch the videos for Goosebumps that were like, okay, yeah, you watch the shows on YouTube, because you guys, I don't know if you guys know this, but you don't know how early YouTube used to be. Early YouTube, before all this copyright stuff and all the, different guidelines and stuff happened, before Susan got her hands on stuff, it used to be every single episode to any show in existence was uploaded to YouTube. So it doesn't matter what you were watching, doesn't matter what show you wanted to watch, every single show in existence had episodes uploaded to YouTube. So let's say you want to watch The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, you missed some reruns on cable, you go to YouTube, you open it up, and you can basically find the entire show on there. And I used to have this desktop computer that was in my grandpa's room, and it had this big like PC DVD port thing in it. It was so old school, but that's the one I used to watch all the shows on. And I had, this wheelie chair. So I used to watch Goosebumps episodes on there. And I used to look up, like Give Yourself Goosebumps and Goosebumps Series 2000. And there used to be those compilation videos showing you all the covers. And I used to rewatch those videos as a kid. I'd be like, man, these covers are so cool. I want to find these books in libraries and stuff. And then I would go try to find these books in libraries. So yeah, that was my, I guess, Goosebumps exposure on YouTube. As for the community, I've only been a part of it like a year ago and some change. And I've only actually been active quite recently, like a year ago. Yeah, I've been in the community for like 2 years, but I've been active, and now I'm uploading videos and stuff like for a year now. So yeah, what do I think about the Goosebumps community? I like it. The one thing I love about the Goosebumps community is even though it seems to have such a large fan base, the number one thing that I like about it is it feels like a tight-knit community. Like, it feels like everybody that I've met through the Goosebumps community feel like people that I know from school. They feel like my friends. They feel like people I can actually talk to. And for those of you, shout out to everybody on the Discord. A lot of you guys on the Discord I talk to on pretty much a daily basis, and you guys are all my homies. A lot of you guys are all my deep homies. I talk to you guys every day. I love talking about stuff that I'm passionate about. Oftentimes when I go to college or I go to work, I socialize because you kind of have to, but I don't really like talking. It sounds emo, but I don't really like talking to people just for the sake of talking. But when I'm talking about stuff that I'm actually passionate about, and it's people that I actually trust, I can talk a lot. I could talk for hours on end. So I'm that kind of guy. So yeah, you guys have been really great. All the guys I talked to in my comment section, on my videos. I want to give a special shout out to the people that I talk to a lot on a daily basis. So Goosebumps Completionist, Monster Blood, Goosebumps for Dummies, Minnesota Goosebumps fan. All those guys have channels and I talk to them on a daily basis. Spongy444, he has a channel and he has a blog. I talk to him on a daily basis. Who else? You have Zoe De Leon. He also has a channel. There are people like Vero. Vero is on the Discord and he comments on my videos. He does not have a channel, but I talk to him on a daily basis. Those guys are all my best friends. I absolutely love talking to them. I love the community. Hunter Coleman as well. Hunter Coleman, I talk to a lot in my comments. He's always asking me questions and stuff. He's a very nice guy. So Hunter Coleman's also in there. These are guys that I talk to a lot, and those are guys that I appreciate a lot. So shout out to you guys. And for all you other guys out there, I know people that I don't talk to a lot, but I still love. Michael Goosebumps fan inspired me to make a channel. Goosebumps Aussie fan, one of the biggest guys out there. I used to watch his videos a lot. And you have other ones, UK Goosebumps. Zenak is actually a cool one too. That's one of my friends now. I talked to him recently. Go check out Zenak's channel. So all those guys in the community are great. I even go on Reddit and I see a lot of the guys commenting. And even on Reddit, a lot of people are very nice and easy to talk to. Usually you would figure on Reddit of all places that it would be hard to talk to people, but no, they're pretty cool. So that's the one thing I like about Goosebumps. Feels like a family, feels like a group of friends, and I always feel comfortable sharing my thoughts and talking with you guys. So yeah. So let's get into more questions. The next 4 questions are going to be by Zoe. Zoe De Leon has his own channel. He doesn't do Goosebumps necessarily, but he does Filipino versions of, I think, Honest Trailers, his own versions. So go check him out. Even if you don't watch that kind of stuff, go hit the subscribe button, go hit the like button. It's free, y'all. It's literally free. Hit that red and help out the boy. And I also talk to him on a daily basis. He's my friend on Discord. He has 4 questions. So first question he asked was kind of links up to the first question that Hunter asked. What was your early intro into horror? Again, it was Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. That was my first exposure, and it is still, I guess, the most highly regarded piece of work that I've read. And I'm even reading right now. I found this thing on Archive called Nightmare Soup Tales. I think it's by an independent author. He writes stories that is similar to Are You Afraid of the Dark? Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and it's artwork that's very similar. So I'm reading that. And I'm also reading Nightmare Society, which I think is another series that they are doing. So yeah, that's my early intro into horror as I take another sip because my mouth is dry. So yeah, early intro into horror, that's that. Next one is, do you play any video games? I actually do not play any video games. I have not had consoles in my house for a very long time, my entire life basically. Last thing I had was a Wii. I used to play on the Wii a lot. I used to have this Bakugan video game that my friend put me on. I used to play a lot. I got addicted. I used to have a 3DS. 3DS, I played Pokemon on there. But I only play video games with my friends. I don't really feel any sort of, I guess, satisfaction from playing video games by myself. I either like watching people play video games, being with my friends, and we play co-op together. Those are the only real times that I have interest in it. So I played Call of Duty with my friends, and I played, Naruto Storm 4. It was just like a fighter game. If any of you are into anime and you know Naruto, I used to play Storm 4 with my friend. We used to rage a lot. There used to be a Bakugan fighting game that we played as well. So I played Bakugan with him. I played Call of Duty with him. I played Naruto Storm 4 with him. And I have another homie who we play Nintendo games together. So me and him have played Pokemon together. Me and him have played Bakugan as well. And we played, what is it? Mario Party 8, I think. I don't know if it was 8, but one of the Mario parties we played a lot together. So yeah, I only play video games with my friends. Those are the video games that I've played. And I've also seen my friend play, like, I don't know if we've ever had turns, but I'll watch him play, what is it? Spider-Man 4. I watch gameplays of not Spider-Man 4. What am I talking about? Spider-Man 2. No, Spider-Man. I made PlayStation Spider-Man game. I'm brain farting. It's late night. So the PlayStation Spider-Man game and God of War 4 and 5, I've seen him play. And I watch gameplays to a lot of stuff. There are a lot of gaming YouTubers that I like. Burleezy is one of the funniest ones. I watch him a lot. I've seen Struggle Nation play video games. I think that's fun. Jacksepticeye I used to watch a lot. Markiplier I watch a lot. Vanos Gaming I watch a lot. Arguably not those guys as much anymore, but I do watch them. DashEXP was hilarious. I watch DashEXP a lot. So yeah, that's just a little bit of that. Next question is, what's your favorite type of TV shows / movies that are not horror related? So, for those of you who don't know, I have a manga / anime channel that is initially the first channel that I made, and it actually has a few Goosebumps reviews uploaded on there that I'm going to be doing remakes of on this channel eventually later. Towards the end of my Goosebumps career, I'll be making remakes of those on here, just so I can forget about the books and reread them. So I'm a huge anime and manga fan. I've been it for a long time. Actually, horror has been my passion for a long time, and manga and anime have been a huge passion of mine for a long time. I used to watch Naruto back in the day. I used to watch Dragon Ball. As a kid, you don't really pay attention, but you watch that stuff. I used to watch Pokemon. I watched Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Was my favorite. Bakugan was my favorite. Yu-Gi-Oh! Was my favorite. I watched Pokemon a lot. And I used to watch stuff like Kaijudo and other stuff. And I used to watch Power Rangers. Power Rangers is basically live action anime because it's adapted from Super Sentai. Super Sentai is a Japanese fantasy fiction, fantasy violence show. So I used to watch that. And recently, I'm a huge anime manga fan. I'm completely caught up to the One Piece manga. I watch the One Piece anime. I'm a huge Jujutsu Kaisen fan. I've caught up to the Jujutsu Kaisen manga, watched the anime, and I've read Hunter x Hunter, watched the anime. So yeah, Hunter x Hunter, Naruto, Jujutsu Kaisen, One Piece, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I'm a huge fan of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And what else? I've watched Seven Deadly Sins. I've watched Tokyo Ghoul, the first season. I've watched Attack on Titan, all 3 seasons, part of the 4th season. I watched Assassination Classroom. I watched a lot of stuff. I watch a lot of anime and I read a lot of manga. Excuse me. Oh, the sneeze went away. Fucking bitch. I thought I was about to say, the sneeze fucking went away. That shit sucks. So yeah, I'm a huge anime and manga fan. I'm a huge Power Rangers fan. I like watching Power Rangers a lot. I'm actually rewatching Power Rangers with my friend Goosebumps Completionist. I didn't know he was as big of a Power Rangers fan as I thought he was, but he's a huge fan, and so my eyes are watering. I'm sick, y'all. I told you. So me and him are huge Power Rangers fans, so I'm rewatching all the seasons of that. I'm watching Lost Galaxy right now, and I'm doing Lost Galaxy and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I'm watching them both right now. So yeah, those ones I do. And also I'm a huge action movie fan. So I watch all the John Wick movies. I'm a huge fan of the John Wick movies. I'll even watch a lot of stupid action movies like Fast and Furious. Fast and Furious, I think, is another one that me and Completionist both are fans of. But we make fun of it a lot because it's like it got so ridiculous over time. So yeah, I watch John Wick is amazing. I watch Fast and Furious. I've seen Expendables. I've watched what else? What else did I watch? I'm trying to think what else. I watched the Raid. Watched the Raid movies. So yeah, I'm an action movie fan. Action movie fan. I used to watch more comedies back in the day. I don't watch as much comedies back in the day, but Actually, I don't know if this is actually, this isn't really embarrassing because this used to be an embarrassing thing to admit, but not really anymore, which is the fact that I'm a fan of Adam Sandler movies. I actually like a lot of Adam Sandler movies, which I guess the meme of Adam Sandler movies nowadays has like caused people to actually like it. I liked Adam Sandler movies since they dropped, so yeah, I'm a fan of him. I like his stuff. I've always been an Adam Sandler fan, so I don't know if that's controversial, but I don't know. People dog on him because it's stupid movies, but you're not supposed to watch Adam Sandler and take it seriously. Like his old movies, you're just supposed to watch them and have fun, which is what I did. Bedtime Stories is one of my favorite movies of all time, and I absolutely love that one. Also, I don't know if this is horror, but I watched Zathura. Zathura was a movie I loved as a kid. I used to love the old Spy Kids movies, so Spy Kids was something I used to watch as a kid. So yeah. Oh, and I forgot. TV shows and movies. This is something you guys don't know. I'm actually a huge fan of wildlife. So I used to watch Animal Planet a lot back in the day. I used to watch Most Extreme. My favorite Animal Planet guy was Austin Stevens. Go look up Austin Stevens. He has a lot of documentaries involving like snakes, finding different dangerous animals, and he used to do photography of them. I used to watch, obviously, Steve Irwin, the Crocodile Hunter, R.I.P. I used to watch Jeff Corwin. Jeff Corwin was kind of a goofy guy. I used to watch him. I used to watch Wildcrats. So yeah, I'm a huge animal fan as well. I love wildlife. I love Animal Planet. Animal Planet is not at all what it used to be, but I'm a fan of that. I'm also a fan of cryptid shows. That's kind of more so horror, but I used to watch, maybe I'll start doing reviews. Would you guys want to see reviews of Lost Tapes? Lost Tapes was an Animal Planet show that used to do recreations of, I guess, like mockumentaries involving cryptids. I used to watch that one a lot, and I watched Mountain Monsters. Mountain Monsters is straight stupidity fun. It's so stupid, but it's fun. So yeah, those are all the different TV shows and movies that I like. You guys got some stuff in there. So those are the end of Zoe's questions. Next one is by Shady Side Library. One of the nicest guys in the Goosebumps community. He's an absolutely wonderful YouTuber. Super cool, down-to-earth guy. I love the dude. He recently got into anime and manga, which me and him talked about. So, very cool. And I think his name comes from Shady Side Library, which is, I think, in the Fear Street books. And I remembered it from the Ghost of Fear Street pilot episode, which I just reviewed recently. Shameless plug. So, his question is, what other series are you interested in reading that is not R.L. Stein's, or that is not Goosebumps and or Stephen King related? So the stories, there's also, I forgot, there's actually like 15 questions. There's a question from Zoe that I forgot to mention in here, but I'll cover Shady Sides. So what other series am I interested in reading? Currently, the ones that are not Stephen King and Goosebumps related, I'm really into Spine Tinglers. So I've been reading Spine Tinglers a lot recently, and I actually ordered 3 Spine Tinglers books, ones that were pretty well acclaimed by fans. So one of them I just got in the mail yesterday because of my birthday. So let me go pull it out real quick. So I got Spine Tinglers, Step on a Crack. It's probably going to pop up reversed on the video, but yeah, Step on a Crack. I got this Spine Tinglers book because this one was pretty well regarded by Completionist and Monster Blood, so I picked it up. I plan on reading this one hopefully soon. This one I think has a crazy premise to it, which is why it interested me. I also ordered Killer Computer, which is Completionist, one of his favorite books of all time. And I know Monster Blood loved that one as well. He says it's like the only Goosebumps knockoff that really impressed him, so I'm hyped for that. And I picked up Snow Day. Snow Day is another highly regarded one. And Snow Day is one that Spongy444 really loves. So those are some of the Spine Tinglers books I picked up. I'm really interested in Spine Tinglers right now. Ever since I read Billy Baker's Dog. Billy Baker's Dog is one of the best, I guess, kids' horror books that I got to read. And I really fell in love with that one. So Spine Tinglers is one that I'm super interested in. Any other series I'm interested in reading? Let me try to think. What else? What else am I interested in? I'm trying to think, because I have so many series that I read. And I'm trying to think what else I'm interested in. The Are You Afraid of the Dark books. There are You Afraid of the Dark books, and I read one so far. It was something like Something the House. it was called the house something. I forgot what the name was. Something involving a house. That was a really good Are You Afraid of the Dark book. And I actually enjoyed it pretty much more than a lot of the episodes from the show. So I'm interested in reading Are You Afraid of the Dark. I don't know if this really counts as like me being excited or more so me trying to see if it's as bad as I think it is. But what is it? Shivers. Shivers is like this edgelord kids horror series that a lot of people kind of shit on. So I'm interested in reading that. I've read Beware the Bog Girl, which is like one of the most out-of-pocket kids horror books I ever read. And apparently that's not even the worst one. And then what else? I've read Bedtime Stories. I'm not really impressed by it so far, but I mean, I'm interested in reading it. And also, I'm reading Nightmare Room. I'm reading, well, I read Ghost of Fear Street, but I'm actually, one that Shady Side brought up in the comment that I am interested in reading is actually the Fear Street books. So I have not read any of the Fear Street books yet because the idea of them kind of being these serial killer mysteries didn't really intrigue me, but Completionist recently read a book called Trapped, which ended up being one of his, I guess, top favorite kids horror books or R.L. Stine books of all time, which I was really shocked by. And there are ones that Monster Blood always recommends. Spongy444 has recommended me. There are ones that people recommend. And I know Fear Street, I think, is his longest running series next to Goosebumps. So that one's really caught my attention. So I'll see. I think from what I heard, there's 3 types of Fear Street books. There's like the serial killer, like the traditional finding a killer. There's a supernatural. And then there's like the ones that are like very, very far from Fear Street, what the normal is, like monsters and vampires and stuff like that. So I'm probably going to read those 3 types, the ones that people recommended to me, and then I'm going to carry on from there. So yeah, that's to answer your question, Shady Side. The next question I have is from Completionist, and he said, when was the first time you recognized your fandom of R.L. Stine? The first time I recognized my fandom of R.L. Stine was the very first Goosebumps episode I ever watched as a kid, and that was the Werewolf of Fever Swamp. The Werewolf of Fever Swamp episode as a kid absolutely scared me, and I absolutely loved it. I loved the production and style to it. I loved the werewolf stuff. And it's funny because as an adult, I actually recently watched or rewatched the Werewolf of Fever Swamp episode, and I absolutely loved it. It's actually my top 3 favorite Goosebumps episodes because it feels like a miniature movie. It's that good in production, and it's that much better than the book. I think I gave the book like a 9 out of 10 or 9.2 out of 10. It's a really good book for the first time you read it, and maybe like the next time you reread it. But after that, you can't really read it more than twice because of the twist involving some big part of the story. But the episode is fantastic. I think I can rewatch that episode every year for all I care and still love it just as much. So yeah, the Werewolf of Fever Swamp episode was the very first time that I experienced my fandom for R.L. Stine. So yeah, that is the very first time. And that is Completionist. I forgot to give shout-outs. Shady Side Library, he has a channel. Go check out Shady Side Library. And Completionist, I don't need to fucking shout out his channel. He's one of the biggest Goosebumps YouTubers. He's the guy who inspired me to make videos. Him, Monster Blood, and Michael inspired me to make videos. So he doesn't need my shout-out, but shout-out to you, brother. The next two are from... Or no, the next one is from a guy who doesn't need my shout-out either. He's very well known in the Goosebumps community, but he's a great guy. Spongy444, he asked me, what is my favorite Tim Jacobus cover? I actually have 2 favorite Tim Jacobus covers. One of them is from Series 2000, one of them is from the OG62. The one from the OG62 is technically my favorite, and then the one from Series 2000 is a close runner-up, and I like them for 2 different reasons. So, the one from OG62 that's my favorite is actually, the reason why it's my favorite was I loved it so much as a kid that I actually tore off the cover to a library book and I kept it in my cabinet drawer. And yeah, in the cabinet drawer for a long time. I discovered it early on when I was in like middle school. I found it again, that this cover to the book was in my drawer because I ripped it out. I loved it that much. I want to keep it. And my favorite cover is You Can't Scare Me, which is funny because I don't like the book You Can't Scare Me, but I absolutely love the cover. The You Can't Scare Me cover is one of the most iconic and scariest Goosebumps covers made by Tim Jacobus. Absolutely fantastic. I think that's some of his best work. And yeah, that's my favorite. I think it's absolutely creepy, super iconic. I love the orange mixed with the brown, the dark, sinister color. It's truly a scary cover, and that's why I love it. It's so creepy. So that one is my favorite Tim Jacobus cover. And then my runner-up favorite, the one that I think is actually the best quality, is Invasion of the Body Squeezers. Invasion of the Body Squeezers, it actually has 2 covers from part 1, part 2, and they come together and they make together this big kind of big image cover. You can see that on like the wiki, and you can see that in the Art of Goosebumps book. That's my runner-up favorite. That is such a fantastic cover. It reminds me a lot, and it actually funny because the thing that I'm going to talk about is actually probably inspired by this somewhat, or I don't know if it is. But in A Quiet Place, I think the aliens are called Death Angels, and there's an image of that basically hints that they came down from meteors, and you see them riding on top of these rocks falling down. And that's actually from the cover of Invasion of the Body Squeezers. You see these body squeezers raining down from these meteors, and they're holding on to them in a very similar way to what the Death Angels were. So yeah, so Invasion of the Body Squeezers is my favorite quality cover, but my favorite in general cover is You Can't Scare Me. So shout out to Spongy444. Next one is from Minnesota Goosebumps fan. Go check out Minnesota Goosebumps fan. Again, Minnesota like the state, Goosebumps fan, all one word. He has videos out there. He does thrift finds, and he also has a few reviews. And he does some collabs with Xenax, so you can see some of his reviews there. Go check out, go subscribe, go like his videos. He asked me, how do I rank the cover artists? Now, I know 4 cover artists off the top of my head. So the ones that I know are obviously Tim Jacobus, Brandon Dorman, Mark Nagata, and Craig White. Tim Jacobus is like the main artist for all the early on books. So you have OG62, Series 2000. Those are all Tim Jacobus's works, triple header. I believe triple header. Then you have Brandon Dorman. Brandon Dorman makes the alternative covers to a lot of the books, so you'll see a lot of his alternate covers to the OG62, to Series to I don't know if he did. Does he do Series 2000? I don't think so. I think he only did maybe the Haunted Car. I don't know. But OG62, he did a lot of covers, and all the new covers like Slappy World is done by him, so you can see his work there. Mark Nagata did the original first half of the Give Yourself Goosebumps. If you look at like Wicked Wax Museum, Jungle of Doom, stuff like that, those are his covers. Carnival of Horrors, that's Mark Nagata. And then the second half of the Give Yourself Goosebumps, where the style changes, those are all Craig White. Craig White did those like Shop Till You Drop Dead and Snakebite Canyon and stuff like that. So how do I rank them? I actually rank them in the order that I listed them. So Tim Jacobus number 1, Brandon Dorman number 2, Mark Nagata number 3, and then sadly Craig White number 4. Craig White, I guess, still decent, but a lot of his second half work of Give Yourself Goosebumps was kind of fishy, especially that one above with the elevator. Was it Elevator to Nowhere? That was rough. Next one is by Vero. This is the worst question I got asked. No offense, Vero. Vero's my friend from Discord, but fuck this question. Go fuck yourself. It's the worst audiobook quote. For those who don't know, Vero on Discord sends us audiobook clips from various terrible audiobook renditions of Goosebumps, and they're absolute ear rape. It's like Banshee screaming in my head. The worst one is, I don't know what book it's from. I think it might be my friend Slappy, where it's the one where Slappy's moaning, where he's like, "Ew," I don't know, some weird moaning that he's doing. That's the worst audiobook quote. Go fuck yourself for asking me that. And then the ones that I forgot, I'm trying to remember which ones I forgot. Oh, so the one that I forgot from Zoe was, he asked me what are my top 5 Stephen King stories. I'm gonna go quick. Boogeyman is my favorite Stephen King story I read. So top 5 Stephen King short stories or something. Number 1 is The Boogeyman from Night Shift. That's my favorite short story of his. I got a 10 out of 10. Very rare for me. Next one is The Mist. The Mist is the first story from Skeleton Crew. That's my second favorite. The next after that is Jerusalem's Lot. That's also from Night Shift. After that is Children of the Corn. I love that one. And then after that is I Am the Doorway. I Am the Doorway is my 5th. Those are my top 5 Stephen King stories. The Boogeyman, The Mist, Jerusalem's Lot, Children of the Corn, I Am the Doorway. And then finally, the last question, I forgot who asked this one, but it was somebody on Discord, so apologies. The last one was, what do I expect out of the House of Shivers story, and what are my thoughts on it? So far, I think it's pretty interesting. I like the idea of it pursuing new villains. And I'm excited that Stein is not going to be, at least for now, relying upon old villains, and he can give these new stories a shine. I've always liked the more obscure villains and the ones that he doesn't touch upon more. I like those kind of new stories rather than him reusing Slappy, reusing Monster Blood and stuff that we already know. Like, why do that? Law Gnome's got a sequel. I don't know. I feel like he needs to give books that deserve sequels more sequels. But if he's not doing that, these new stories are fine. I heard Scariest Book Ever is good, pretty good. It's like, I guess, a good version of Legend of the Lost Legend. And I think the what is it, the Goblin Monday one, from the preview I heard, it sounds pretty corny, kind of goofy, but I don't know. I guess it's an interesting premise. We don't know what the third House of Shivers book is yet, but I like the idea that he's going down these new villain routes. Makes it more interesting for me. And so far, I think he's done it for the past, 4 books? Night of the Squawker, Fright Night, Scariest Book Ever, and Goblin Monday. All 4 are completely new. None of it has to do with reoccurring characters, so I like it. And that wraps up this Q&A. So that is a long video. I did cover all these questions, but that's the end of my Q&A. Thank you, everybody who asked these questions. Thank you to all the subscribers out there, the people who comment on my videos and comment, and also like my stuff and subscribe to the channel. You guys are absolutely fantastic, and you guys motivate me to make videos every day. You guys are like my family, and a lot of you out there, especially the ones I mentioned in here, are some of my best friends, and you guys have supported me a lot throughout my journey, so I appreciate you guys a lot, and I hope to be with you guys for a long, long time to come. So yeah, that's all I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A video. I think that's enough content for a while. I'm going to be sick, so until I get over the sickness, I don't think I'll be posting as much. But hopefully you guys have enough content to consume from me, and there's going to be more stuff to come soon. And I'll keep y'all updated in the community post, and obviously those on Discord will be always kept up day to day with what I'm reading and what I'm doing. So yeah, that's all I have for today. Hope you guys enjoyed, and deuces. Also, please sponsor me, for the love of God. Please. I need the money. I gotta pay these bills. The bill collector already popped up last night. It was my birthday, man.